The candle that went out, Mary, had always been a light in Bryce's life. Not the kind of light that burns fiercely and blinds you, but the kind that quietly warms a room. She was the woman who noticed the little things: fresh flowers on the table, the right song for a rainy evening, the way his tie never quite sat straight before a meeting. She was the steady flame in the middle of his chaotic world. But after she returned from visiting her twin sister, Emily, something about her flame began to flicker. At first, Bryce told himself it was nothing: fatigue, stress, a bad week. Mary brushed off his concern with tired smiles and vague excuses. "I'm just exhausted, didn't sleep well, not in the mood." Yet the changes didn't fade. They deepened. The woman who had once remembered every anniversary, every birthday, every quiet milestone, forgot the most important one of all: their 5th wedding anniversary. It wasn't just forgetfulness. It was as if someone had replaced pieces of her with empty spaces. The celebration never happened. That morning, the phone rang, and with it came a crack in their world. Emily, Mary's twin, had taken her own life. The funeral was small. Too small, eh? Dull gray sky hung low over the cemetery, the air still and heavy. The only sounds were the shuffle of shoes on damp earth and the occasional caw of a distant crow. Aside from Bryce, Mary, and a handful of Emily's friends, there was no one else. Bryce approached the coffin to say goodbye. The polished wood reflected the muted light like dark water. He looked down at Emily's still face, her skin pale and delicate, her lips faintly parted. And then his heart stopped. The curve of her jaw, the faint scar near her lip, the softness in the arch of her brow. He had seen that face 1,000 times, woken up next to it, kissed it good night. His eyes darted to the woman standing beside him. She was watching him closely, almost too closely. A cold weight began to settle in his chest. The puzzle pieces he didn't even know he'd been collecting began to click together. The odd behavior, the slips in memory, the moments that felt off but had no explanation by the time they left the cemetery. The air between them was heavy with unspoken truths. That night, the house felt different. The soft glow of the living room lamp no longer felt warm. It felt like a stage light, harsh and revealing. Bryce finally asked the question that had been clawing at him since the funeral. Her silence was louder than any denial. And then the confession came. Emily had envied Mary for as long as she could remember. Her marriage, her home, the way she carried herself, as if she belonged to the world in a way Emily never could. Just once, she whispered, "I wanted to be her." She claimed she hadn't harmed Mary. She said she only told her that Bryce had been unfaithful, that those words alone had been enough to make her disappear. But Bryce knew his wife. Words like that might have shaken her, but they wouldn't have erased her. Not completely. Not like this. As he stared at Emily, wearing Mary's face, he thought of the candle Mary used to light on their dining table every night. Even if it was just the two of them, it was a small thing, but it made their home feel alive. That candle hadn't been lit in weeks, and in that moment, Bryce understood Mary's flame was gone. Whether by deception, by grief, or by something darker, it had been snuffed out, leaving nothing but smoke in its place. Outside, the wind rose and pressed against the windows, rattling the glass like a quiet, persistent knock. Somewhere in the sound, Bryce thought he heard her voice, soft, mournful, and far away. Some truths don't set you free. They bury you deeper. And as Bryce stood in the dim light of their living room, staring at the woman who wasn't his wife, he whispered truth of his own. Love isn't stolen in a single moment. It's stolen in all the small silences where trust used to live.